In today's video, I'll go over the basics on how to manage and operate your TradeStation system. The first thing that you want to do is just make sure that your system is online. And a quick way of knowing that your system is online is looking at the bottom right hand corner and ensure that the words that are being displayed is trading live and that its background is green. I've moved my cursor on top of it, and you can see a little pop-up window up here saying Trading Connection Live. In any instance, when this is red, that will indicate that your system is offline, and what you'll need to do is right-click and click on Work Online. And what will happen is a message box will appear where you will need to input your username and TradeStation password. Once you've entered those credentials, then you'll just have to wait for the system to load, and then probably there will be a window that appears where it's asking you to open the items enabled, and that's what you would click. The next thing to do is just ensure that the algorithms are on, and there's a couple ways of doing this, but the quick and dirty way is just go to the Manager tab here and then make sure that all the position matches are set to true or displaying some sort of binary condition, true or false. These ones, when they're blank, it indicates that the algorithms are neither enabled or active. Okay, and that's because we have these tickers just for display only. But for the algorithms that are actively trading in your account, you should just have 9 tickers, right? And they should have a position match statement displaying true or false. And that's how you'll know that your algorithms are active and enabled. Another way to know that your algorithms are active and enabled visually is just to go to the actual charts. And then in each chart, you can see in the top left-hand corner, a small little square green box with 2 letters that are colored in red. So the SA stands for strategy automation, and they have to be red, and that indicates that they're fully autonomous. And then the green means that they're actively enabled. So in the case that we turn off the algorithm, and I click on the blank space, Format Strategies, and then I disable this account, what will happen is the SA will turn to gray, and the letters will turn into black. And if we go back to the manager, you'll see that the TradeStation symbol NVIDIA is flat, but there's no binary condition associated with it, true or false. And that's because we've turned off the algorithm. So we'll have to go back and enable it by right-clicking into a blank space in the chart, right-clicking it, automate the execution using this account number, click OK to the warning box, and then make sure that the confirmation is set to off because we want this to be fully autonomous, and click OK. And once you do that, you can see that the gray square box has turned into green and the letters are red. If this was semi-autonomous, then the letters will turn yellow. So if we turn it off, from off to on, and that's going to mean that every trade that is executed, there will be a window box asking for permission. And then the user would have to click OK or like discard. But you can see now that the box is now yellow or green, but the letters are yellow. So you go back to Format Strategies, and then you just make sure that the letters are red, not yellow, by clicking the confirmation off. And then you can see now it's turned from yellow to red. So that's good. And if we go back to the manager, you can see that NVIDIA is now back to being true. So a quick and dirty way is just making sure that the positions, all 9 tickers, have a binary condition that's either set to true or false. Okay, and that's a quick way of knowing that your algorithms are online and also your system is online. The next thing here is what I want to go through is just the manager. So in the manager, you can see 5 windows, but the most important one is your trade manager. The trade manager will list the account net worth beginning of the day and the net account worth real time. In addition to that, there will be two different ways of identifying P&L. So there's unrealized P&L, so that's still risk on, and then the real-time realized P&L, and that's when it's closed the position. So unrealized P&L means that your positions are still open and active, and then the real-time realized positions, those are the positions that the algorithms have closed. You can see that when you click on the plus sign here in the unrealized positions, it has Roku, Netflix, and Google. Roku's profit is at $24, whereas Netflix's profit is at actually not a profit, at a loss, hence the brackets, at $111.82. And then Google's at $122.08 in profit. These three positions are unrealized, and that means that those are still risk on. And then you can also identify these same positions at the top header here, where plus means long and negative means sell short. The color indicates profit. So if Netflix was in a sell short position and displaying green, that means that sell short position is generating profit. But currently it's at a loss at $112, which is exactly what is being displayed in the real-time unrealized P&L. And also, if you take a look at the top right-hand corner, there's a position box also indicating a little bit more detail, specifically the quantity, average price, open P&L per quantity, open P&L percentage-wise, total cost of account, and market value. When you want to close a position, there's a couple of ways of closing positions. You can close the positions directly from the position windows box, so by right-clicking and closing positions. And then if the market was open, then you can close it at market, which is generally recommended. If the market is closed and there's active after hours activity, then you might want to use the customize at the TradeStation order bar. If you click on this, then what will happen is there will be a drop down orders menu that will appear where the ticker that you've selected, say Roku for instance, will be populated with the exact quantity of shares that the algorithm has purchased. And then all you have to do is select the limit price that you want to close them at and then execute the order. Once the order is executed, you would see the order box right here in the bottom left-hand corner populate the order, which would probably give you an order status of pending, depending on whether it was filled or not. And then the message box here will populate whenever the order is actually transmitted and accepted by TradeStation, and whatever TradeStation returns back will be also populated in the messages. Once that happens and you close the positions, for instance, on this Roku, while the Roku algorithm is long, what's going to happen is, because Roku is in a long position and you closed out the long position after hours, then the open position will go to flat, and then however, the Roku algorithm that's still currently long 40 shares will still continue to be long, which will result in a position match being false. Okay, and so that when you know when something is false, then that's okay. But when you don't know when something is false, for instance, Shopify, then that's not okay. However, we do know why Shopify is false, and that's because Shopify, by design, this is a known of the design of the retirement account. It has shares that are hard to borrow, and it's not easily they're not easily borrowed or can be borrowed from TradeStation, and as a result, most of the time when the algorithm goes sell shorts in Shopify, the position match will display a false because the open position will most of the time be false. And then you can see in the display message here, I think a couple of days ago, you can see that on December 12th, 10:30 a.m., this order was rejected because the security is not easy to borrow. And hence we have hard to borrow displayed right next to Shopify. When you want to open position, for instance, let's say we had shares to borrow from TradeStation, which would allow us to sell short, then what you would want to do is you just want to go to your the charts and then just click on Shopify. So that's the active chart. And what's going to happen is that the Shopify symbol will be updated here, but the quantity will be set to the default 500. So then you need to enter in the number of shares that the algorithm wants to pick up, which is 7, and then either buy it at market order, or put in a limit price that you'd like to get into. Usually in our case, we do not use a limit. We always just get into market and let the system, and just ensure that the manager is always displaying true most of the time. Okay, remember, if it's false, then you have to know why it's false. If it's true, that's good. So when it's true and displaying a position match statement being true or false, that allows us to know that the algorithms are active and enabled. When they're true, that's really good. When they're false, then that's not good. We have to understand why they're false. So Shopify, we understand why it's false, so that's not an issue. But let's say if Apple was false, and it could be because we have an open position here of 8 shares and the algorithm is flat. So that means we would have to close 8 shares in Apple. And what you would do is you would type in the symbol Apple, type in 8 shares, and then close. If it was 8 shares long, then you'd have to sell those 8 shares back to the market. So, and then once you do that, then the position would be flat, and then your position match statement would be from false to true. Okay, and then going back to the trade manager here, you have 2 ways to reference the account. One is at the beginning day of account net worth, and then which is displayed here, and then the next one is the real-time account net worth, which is always being updated after hours and pre-market. So when the market, before the market bell rings or closes, the price action per ticker will be updating based on news or just general activity. And this value will always keep on updating. And before the opening bell, you'll still continue updating. And then once the bell rings, whatever that value is displayed at that time at exactly 9:30 a.m., it gets pushed into this box right here, beginning day and net count worth. And that will give you a reference of how the day went at the end of the day relative to the morning. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the general maintenance. And one more thing, if there's any message that says open close positions or open positions or do not close positions, there might be an error box that appears. What you want to do is just always click on do not close position, and then after you do not close a position, all the positions should be still open at the top here, and then you just want to make sure that the positions match are showing the right binary statement, true or false. Okay, thank you very much for your time and have a great day.